Let's talk about chocolate. The sweet, tasty, sour, bitter. What's the health benefits of chocolate and what is the dark side? Then I will answer questions regarding how to eat during summer, hot months, especially if you want to follow a vegan diet, but you will also find tips that are applicable for any dietary pattern that you follow. And then I will answer a question on how to work out at home. Hello friend, if you are joining me for the first time, welcome. I'm your host Daniel Weiss, a certified nutrition coach, educator and an athlete. I've created this show to help you understand and simplify nutrition so you can focus on making educated choices and observe how your body starts feeling, looking and performing better. I've been working with people who simply want to look and feel better, recreational as well as elite athletes who want to challenge themselves, but also with fitness professionals. I know that becoming a better, fitter version of yourself will not be possible without the right mindset and habits that will get you through the hard times. So that is why I cover these topics as well. I would also like to bring to your attention the nutrition guides, meal plans and other resources that I have created over the years, and you can get them for free at danweiss.eu/guides. It was Valentine's Day, and when you mention Valentine, the first food that comes to my mind is chocolate. So let's talk about chocolate, because quality chocolate is not only a tasty gift that will make any woman's heart melt, but it also has health benefits. So for the cardiovascular benefits of chocolate, to get that 1 gram of polyphenols, you can obtain it by consuming about 40 grams of 75% dark chocolate. It's important to mention that these benefits were observed in type 2 diabetic patients, so it might not apply to everyone, but it might. According to some research, a regular consumption of chocolate has been shown in several studies to significantly improve 2 areas of our mental ability, and that is specifically executive function and verbal fluency. So it's not only good for your heart, but also for your brain. What interested me most, though, is that I found some research that discussed how chocolate consumption can reduce the intestinal permeability that is caused by exercise. So we know that athletes who train a lot, especially endurance athletes and team sport athletes, they damage their gut lining through that stress induced by exercise, and there are other different factors. And when we have increased gut permeability, it allows endotoxins, pathogens and other inflammatory substances to pass through the gut barrier into the bloodstream. So many endurance athletes really struggle with this, and they notice symptoms like being bloated more or malabsorbing food and nutrients, because when we have damaged our gut lining, we are not absorbing all the nutrients. So you are not what you eat, but you are what you absorb. In this study, they took 24 elite football players and 30 amateur athletes, and the participants ate a regular diet or a diet supplemented with 40 grams of dark chocolate, and dark chocolate was with more than 85% of cocoa. According to the results, after the 30 days, the chocolate has positive effect on reducing intestinal permeability based on several different markers, which I think is good and tasty news. It's important to note that you can mitigate the stress on your gut and prevent excessive damaging of gut lining by ingesting carbohydrates during those long workouts and preventing underfueling, because This is especially important with endurance sports, and I see that a lot of runners do their long runs without any carbohydrates or any kind of water and even in heat. So this is like major stressor on your gut, and we have seen in studies that it just damages your gut lining. So if you want to stay healthy, then take care of your energy needs first, and adding some chocolate can possibly help with that as well. Now there is also a myth that chocolate cravings are caused by magnesium deficiency. And is it actually true? Well, the connection sounds logical because chocolate beans contain magnesium, and so when your body needs magnesium, it asks for it, or so the story goes. However, I don't think this is kind of strong argument. It's more like natural fallacy, and just thinking logically, if it were magnesium, why your body doesn't ask for pumpkin seeds, squash seeds, or green leafy vegetables, or any other source of magnesium? Why is it sweet chocolate, ladies? Well, the chocolate cravings, I suppose, is more likely to be psychological. We associate chocolate with a pleasant feeling, and sometimes they use it to drive away stress. Or maybe we see chocolate somewhere in an advertisement, we smell it, or we see it around us in our environment, and this is when we get craving for it. If we don't take the time to eat proper meals during the day, in the evening we can also get cravings for sweets specifically, and that is usually chocolate. I know that many people don't crave bitter chocolate beans or dark chocolate, but rather the sweet chocolate. But the chocolate also has a dark side, and I don't mean the dark chocolate now. Last year there was an analysis of various popular brands of chocolate in the US market, and the results were pretty disturbing. They found elevated levels of heavy metals, specifically cadmium and lead, in several of the popular chocolate brands. So there are several pollutants that are connected to chocolate, and I'm drawing from European safety standards. So they mention 6 major pollutants present in chocolate. The first is heavy metals, then there is pesticides residues, mycotoxins, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, microbes, and foreign matter. So heavy metals are problematic for our health, and the EU standards are getting better when it comes to regulation of cadmium in cocoa and other products, because it's also present in coffee products or coffee beans. And the problem is that those heavy metals, including cadmium, lead, but also aluminum, are naturally present in soil, and there are also residues from farming or from agriculture that are still present in soil, just like some pesticides and chemical fertilizers. But the presence of cadmium is a particular problem in cocoa products or cocoa beans from some Latin American countries, also due to factors like volcanic activity and forest fires. Then we have mycotoxins. Mycotoxins such as aflatoxin or ochratoxin are present in cocoa as a result of fungal infection of crops. And it just reminds me of one specific brand present in the US. It's been on the market for several years, and they made their marketing specifically on coffee, stating that mycotoxins are really problematic and that's causing people headaches and so on. But when we look at the research or food safety, then we see that this is something that has been known for a very long time as something problematic, and so it's pretty well monitored. So mycotoxins should not be something to worry about, really. Another pollutant is polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, and these can be present from smoke as the main source. So this can be when you are burning chocolate, or when the chocolate beans are dried near roads, or due to aforementioned forest fires. Then there is also microbes, but this is again very low risk because microbial contamination is pretty well regulated, relatively easy to regulate, and it's not something in the current food environment that we would see as often based on what I've seen. Now, another worrisome thing is foreign matter, and the foreign matter is defined as plastics or insects or anything, basically any foreign matter that gets into food. The problem with this is that because there are several sources of these pollutants, they are not tightly regulated. I don't know how it is in your specific country, but I know that in the European Union it is not. And this can be like residues from mineral oils, from processing, and we see generally in the foods that we have more and more microplastics, and we don't have like tight regulations for that. For example, there was a case of mineral oil residues that have been found in chocolate in Germany, and when they tested this and found this out, then they took it back from the circulation. So another important thing to mention is that different agencies and countries have different food safety standards. EU safety standards state that, for example, for a 130-pound person, which is about 60 kilos, they should consume no more than 21 micrograms of cadmium per day to avoid health risk. So therefore, an ounce of dark chocolate that contains 7 or 8 micrograms, as they found in those tests, is unlikely to be harmful. Well, all in all, I would focus on higher quality chocolate because it's healthier, it's more satisfying, at least to me, and it also employs better practices used in its production from bean to bar. What you might not know, and was really disturbing when I found this, is that pretty much 70% of chocolate worldwide production of beans comes from 4 countries. And these regions are very poor regions, so they rely heavily on child labor. There are kidnapping of kids for labor, and even those farmers that get paid, they only earn like $1 a day. If you want to find out more about this, I would recommend checking a Jordan Harbinger show, where I got this information from. It will be linked in the description. Let's get to the questions. How to eat in the summer when on the go? So the listener asks, "Hi, I'd like to ask you for some nutrition advice. We train a lot during the winter and travel a lot during the summer months. People usually give us some food like pastry or goulash and soft drinks, and I would really like to pack something with me to be able to work and work out in the heat and also stay fit. Do you have any recipes that can be eaten anywhere without the need to heat them up? I was thinking about hummus in a million ways, vegetables, and what else?" So let me start by saying that while recipes can be inspiring, they also put you into a kind of box thinking, that you are thinking within the recipes. They prevent you to think outside of the box. In other words, they don't encourage creative thinking unless you are the kind of person who does that automatically. So for example, when a recipe calls for rice with tofu in maybe some hot sauce, that's a really fine recipe, but if you cook that and you take it with yourself during summer hot weather, it will spoil in just few hours. And you can use the exactly same ingredients and make a completely different meal. For example, you can bake it. In that way, it will not spoil in the hot weather. It is still tasty. It is probably also more portable, and it's great. So I would like to encourage you to look beyond the recipes and learn how to put ingredients together to form a complete healthy meal. And you will find out that this gives you a lot of flexibility when you are eating, whether it's at home or when you are traveling. All you need is to be able to categorize foods into carbohydrates, fats, protein sources, and then we have the colors, which are vegetables and fruit. Then you just put the ingredients together. So for example, you can have tofu, oats, and blueberries. And from these ingredients you can make an oatmeal, which is like creamy. You can bake them and have baked oats, more like a kind of cake, which is great for travel and it doesn't spoil. It's more portable, it doesn't spill. Or you can make protein bars. Again, you can bake them or you can make them raw. Or if you are really like someone who doesn't care, you can even bite into tofu, eat blueberries, and have oats as some crunchy snack after that. So possibilities are endless. It gives you a lot of flexibility when you learn how to combine ingredients, and it's really freeing. But here are some tips that I would like to give you how to start. You can use, for example, dried fruit and baked and canned foods, and those are really good because they can withstand summer heat, and they are also very portable. I would not take vegetables or fruit with me because we have all had this experience probably with banana, that it gets squashed and mushy and it's all over your bag, or it takes a lot of cleaning afterwards. Besides that, you can get vegetables and fruit almost anywhere during summer months. So for example, my go-to travel meal has always been oatmeal, and I just pack oats, protein powder, nuts, and seeds, which are all dry ingredients. Before I eat it, I just mix them together, put some water on it. Before eating, let it sit for a few minutes, and I might also add some fruit or vegetables like a carrot that I get like locally, maybe from a grocery store or farmer's market. And this works great. It's also good to have good bento boxes where you can keep your food. So there are some simple bento boxes, there are more fancy, even like very luxury, and just get a good pair of bento boxes. Like, don't save on this, you will be using it probably for the rest of your life, and it will prevent from your food getting like messy in your bag, spill out the ingredients or whatever, and create a mess. And it can also preserve food for longer time depending on the kind of box that you take. Now, here is my second preferred option, and that's what I meant when I mentioned combining ingredients and knowing how to combine it. So learn how to make balanced meal. You will not depend on recipes, and you can improvise based on your preferences. So you just take carbohydrates, fat, vegetables. They are easy to get in any grocery store wherever you go. And if you are vegan or you want to take plant protein sources, these are really hard to come by. So I would always carry protein powder, as I mentioned, maybe protein bars, maybe texturized vegetable protein, which is again dried and can be prepared just by soaking it, maybe baked tofu, and even canned legumes can do the trick. Also check the article that I'm pinning in the description, where you will find more tips, including strategies, how to put together those healthy feed meals, and some recipes for inspiration and other resources. Second question comes from another lady, and it's about how to exercise at home. So the question is, I would need a YouTube channel or something like that, which I can use to watch, like see a video and follow that video to get a good bodyweight workout at home. Ideally, full body workout. I have an hour in the morning to do that before the kids get up. And I totally understand, I don't have kids myself, but I have a lot of clients who do. And I would not give you a specific YouTube channel because I don't follow any like workout videos or whatever. I just use YouTube videos or any videos for that matter to check the form of exercise and exercise techniques. So essentially, most of the videos that you can find online regarding exercise, they are either like techniques, but the full workouts are usually like yoga focused or stretching, or they're high intensity circuits. Now, what would be ideal for you depends on your goals. If you want to get better at running, then you need to run and not do bodyweight exercises at home. But because you mentioned that you want to do some full body workout, I will assume that you want to tone your body, perhaps increase your strength, sculpt your body, maybe build muscle, and stay generally fit, right? So yeah, full body workouts at home are really a good choice. And you can use a variety of different workouts to get to that goal. Now, let's take a step back and talk about the purpose of that exercise, or why we exercise. So the goal of exercise is to give your body a stimuli, not to burn calories as many people view exercise. So in the case of resistance training, it is strength development, maybe developing explosive power, or muscle building, so building muscle. If you want to tone that body, stay fit, be healthy, you should focus on your muscle. In the case of circuit training, it's more focused on developing cardiovascular fitness or conditioning. Now, the thing is, you can use the exactly same exercises, but how you do them makes a huge difference. So I will use squats as an example. If you do squats slowly and they are like really hard, maybe you add weight or do a single leg variety. That's a strength exercise and it helps you to build strength and also grow muscle. If you do the squats explosively, like you jump as high as possible, then you need to reset your form after each jump so you can perform it with the same explosive power and to the best of your ability, right? That's a power development exercise. And if you just do squats for a minute, as many as possible, that's a cardio workout, right? And this is like the problem because many of these circuits videos, ladies want to be fit, have toned bodies and so on, and they just do these exercises in a way that they are cardio workouts. It's a lot of jumping and a lot of squatting and getting your heart rate up and maybe sweating, and they think, oh, that's the great exercise because that's how I should feel. Well, no, if you want to develop your body, if you tone that, it can be helpful, but that's not how you want to do that. You want to build muscle, and you can do that if you enjoy it, right? I'm not saying like never do that. It's important also to mention that there is some overlap between these adaptations. But again, if you want to tone your body, then you need to focus on strength and building muscle. However, you package that. In other words, Stop focusing on sweating and getting your heart rate up, or feeling your muscles burning, or doing stands or even like hundreds of repetitions and having a short pause between the sets. Short pause would be anything below 2 minutes really. That's still cardio even if you use some resistance like weights or anything like that. I would also recommend you to use dumbbells for home to add that extra weight, especially for the lower body, or at least get a TRX suspension system that you can really modulate and adjust to your level of ability, and it's really amazing for your upper body. And then perhaps resistance bands. Now the question, how often should you do? This person mentioned working out for an hour each morning, and that's fine. Like working out each morning is a really good habit, but maybe some other listener that's not right for you. So the general idea is you can do more than enough in just 1 hour. Like even if you are really busy and you have just 15 minutes a day, even that can be easy to stay fit and get fitter than you probably are, unless you are really highly competitive athlete. And I discussed this, how to do that, in another podcast episode. It's your complete guide to exercising smart with Key Alicia Feathers, and you will get a lot of tips there. So for this person and for most people, I would recommend full body resistance exercise 2 to 3 times a week. And in between those workouts, you can go for walks, you can go biking, you can do dancing, or add any kind of cardio if you wish. Here are some other resources. When I started, I used this website. It's called Max Capacity Training. Again, it will be mentioned in the description below. And also Convict Conditioning, which is a really great book that will show you these basic movements and how to progress them from a really beginner all the way to advanced. So thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share and subscribe, and leave a good rating. 5-star review is always appreciated as it makes this podcast more visible. As always, you can find related resources linked in the podcast description. And also don't forget about the free resources that you can find at my website danweiss.eu/guides. If you have a question, the best way how to submit it is by sending it to my social media profiles that are linked in the description below.